Hello Internet, it is September 4th, 2014, and here's my question for you. What color is the cheese? If you said orange, maybe a yellowy orange, excellent, good job. This cheese is called a red cheese. Red cheese. I don't understand. I ended up talking to Emma for a while about this. If you ever wondered what our dinner conversation is like, now you know. Cheese. Eventually, we decided it would be better for everyone if I took like 5 minutes alone with myself and the internet to say everything I ever wanted to say about cheese, language, laziness, symbolic thinking, and the terror and wonder of thinking about everything. So here we go. Vlog 2, rant about cheese. What is this? A smiley face, right? It's not really a smiley face. It is two dots, and a kind of curvy line. That's what we call a smiley face. Really? This is symbolic thinking. And it's brilliant! Without symbolic thinking, 78% of internet communication would not exist. It allows us to do math. It allows us to draw maps. Me to you. Because you have to jump over the monsters to get me to you. It allows us to represent time. Have you seen time lately? How much does it not look like a clock? Symbolic thinking allows us to use math and maps and the concept of time to understand how the universe out there and the universe in here is made up of atoms and bits and bobs, which are all, pretty much, when you get down to it, the same stuff, which exploded out of a star or nothing, the back of a turtle, whatever, a long time ago. This kind of thinking gives us the ability to see and to talk about the universe. Wait. I thought we were talking about cheese. Symbolic thinking also gives us language. Languages are just words, which are squiggly lines, which are symbols for things, for stuff, in the same way that this is a symbol for this. If we didn't have symbols, we wouldn't have words, we wouldn't be able to build on our understanding, let alone talk about the things that we can't see and can only imagine. Things like time, things like love, privacy, the internet. One of the parts of symbolic thinking is a kind of abbreviated thing. That's what symbols are for. They're great shortcuts. Humans are lazy. We like shortcuts. And they're good. I mean, they're most part, when we draw maps, we color the water blue because blue is the symbol for water in so much as at some point, at some time in the world, water was blue. And it would be too much trouble, really quite impossible actually, to color the water on a map, all of the colors that water can be. So we made symbols. We made shortcuts. This cheese is red in that it is orange, and red is better than orange. This person is black in that they are not white, and that white is not the color of anyone in the world ever. Or yellow, or brown. Why do we use words if we don't care what they mean? It's the same as the cheese. This is probably what Orwell was talking about in Politics of the English Language. I think he was talking about cheese. When he described the danger of language thinking for us, replacing what was actually there with what we were describing. There was a certain point in my life where I realized that my mom and dad were not really my mom and dad. I don't mean like in a Korean drama sense that I was the child of two aliens. I mean that I only thought of them as my mom and dad. They were just the symbols that those words meant. They didn't have a reality really that existed beyond the fact that they were my mother and my father and what those words meant to me. And I wasn't connecting with them as the human beings they were, as much made of everything ever as I am, as everything is. They were just mom and dad. That existence of them as my mom and my dad, it was only a fraction of who they were as humans, as things and stuff that lived and grew and died. Mom and dad doesn't begin to cover it. The words mom and dad were just symbols that had for so much of my life replaced who they were as people. And I didn't really connect with who they were until they were already dying and then dead. And that sucks. And I try not to do it. But I still do. Every time I see my sister as just my sister, or my partner is just my partner, or anything as mine at all. It's all true, but it's all not really true. There's a bit in Nausea written by a guy named Jean-Paul Sartre, who you may or may not know, who was French and who died a long time ago and was very important in existential thought, where a main character sits under a tree and is overwhelmed by the fact that this tree, while being an oak tree, wasn't really so much as an oak tree as a thing. This thing made of wood and cells and bits and bobs that only exists in this one place, in this way, in this one time, in the entire universe. And to call it an oak tree, while incredibly useful in the sense of hierarchy and classification, doesn't really capture the fullness of this thing that exists as itself and as everything around it. Don't accept symbols at face value. Choose your symbols carefully. Think about the symbols that other people have already chosen for you, the words that people have already chosen for you. Ask yourself why. Don't let your mom and dad just be your mom and dad until they die. Because the symbols you choose will choose the world that you live in. The world that after a while will be the only world you're capable of seeing. The names we give to every tree, every flower, every color, every person are there for a reason. It helps us put things into categories, which helps us function and understand the world in which we live, the world which we create. And while it is essential, it is not the absolute truth, and we would do well to remember that. So, this cheese is red, but it's not. This face is a face, but it's not. Those people in your life are your mom and your dad, brother or your sister, uncle, your nephew, but they're not. They're more. Always more. That tree in your yard is simply put like nothing else in the universe. And you should go look at it sometime. Before they disappear. End rant. You can ask cheese now. Ta-ta for now. GTFN. It's good.